For a young chappie whose
Yeah.
only interest in horses throughout his life was cowboy and Indian movies, and
Yeah.
that was his only exposure to horses.
No, no,
What?
no.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh,
I don't have any
yes,
exposure
but
to horses. Not you, of
yeah,
course.
right,
You had
but
plenty of
no,
exposure
I
to
had,
horses.
yeah, I had
But
a
for
lot of
for
exposure to
for
horses.
someone like me who grew up with only that as their reference to horses, if I were to approach a horse for the first time, we under supervision. But what are some basic training guidelines to keep in mind?
No, the most basic guideline when you approach a horse is what my father told me when I was very small, and he was ready to squash me because he saw me walk bolt upright under horses, which is of course a death sentence. Especially I walked under brood mares that were protecting their foals, and I was so tiny I could bolt upright, make a promenade under the bellies of these mares.
From the front or
And
from
my
the side?
father, I did from the side, but my father saw this and summoned me. And in those days, you had to obey your parents. You did not dictate to your parents what's going to happen.
Unlike today.
No, it was a different system. And we were at the bottom of the totem pole, not the top. And he summoned me and looked down to this small item and said, listen, you come here to the horse and you look where his girth is, and you see the narrow line behind the withers and in front of the belly where you tighten the girth and the harness, and that's the front of the horse, and behind the girth is the hind end of the horse. And if I ever see you behind the girth line, I kick you, not the horse. You will be done, because this is forbidden from now on. And now you go to the horse and show me with your finger where his middle is, so that you understood you don't go past the middle of the horse. And I had to point to it and analyze it. And he said, if I ever see you behind that line. So this is number one. Horses are very dangerous. Not because they are conspiratorial and want to kill you, but they can and they will if you are so stupid.
Yeah.
So the horse has the instinct to protect himself by lashing out and kicking at predators or anything suspicious and disturbing, and they'll kick you to death with absolutely no problem. And this is the number one rule. You do not work around horses by going behind them. And this is, again, I see here grooms and stable staff, and worst of all, riders, constantly passing from one side of the horse to the other one behind him. Out of question. If we would have had a coachman or a groom do that, would have been his last day on the job. He would have been transferred to milking cows, something very sedate. You don't work ever behind horses. You stay in front of them. It's as simple as that.
Period.
Yeah.